SSC Grade D dictations 80 words per minute start. But the House also has legislative and deliberative functions, which are also important drivers of the agenda of the House. Deliberative function of the House includes taking up issues of larger public importance as well. This House of Elders is required to synthesize all these agendas so that a national agenda and a national perspective is evaluated. We had all the time in the world to discuss all such agenda, but we did not do it. Instead of integrating all such concerns and discuss them one after the other, we worked at cross purpose. In the process, we let down the nation, the states, and the people. As I personally feel, I am disturbed to note a total breakdown in communication among various sections of the House, which was the root of the prolonged stalemate renewed this important session. This is a lesson for all of us that we must have interaction on a singular basis, discuss things more among ourselves before coming to the House. This is not good for our parliamentary democracy, about which our country has come to acquire a place of pride. Our country had won the battle for self-governance after a long freedom struggle. We are supposed to have matured about 7 decades of our brave experiments with parliamentary democracy and self-governance, but the functioning of our legislatures do not seem to be assuring enough. This House of Elders need to lead by example in strengthening the parliamentary democracy and sustaining the trust and confidence of the people in it. This takes me to the days of intense debate in the Constituent Assembly over the need and justification for a second chamber. Please hear me carefully. There was a discussion in the Constituent Assembly over the need and justification of a second chamber. That Constitution Assembly, such is the Council of States. The opinion was divided against and in favor of such a chamber before bicameralism was adopted, and this House finally came into being in 1952. I am afraid that the fears expressed about the need of this House at that time are now revisiting us and even coming true. I hope it is not so, for the benefit of a large number of new members who took oath in the last couple of days. Let me briefly recall what was said about this House then. This is for knowledge only. During the Constituted Assembly debates, on the need for a council of states. Some members feared that it would prove to be a clog in the wheel of progress, involving expenses and not making much contribution. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of the country, who was among the important members of the drafting committee of the constitution that was set up for reporting on the structure and functions of the future legislature of our country, had feared in 1936 that a second chamber would check any forward tendencies of the lower house and will be reactionary. Are we making Nehruji's worst fears came true? I hope we are not. What Tamil Nadu needs is water from the Kaveri River. Successive governments have failed to provide legitimate share of the water. Till now, the government has not formed the Kaveri Management Board. Even the Supreme Court had advised them to form the board, but they did not do so. One central minister said that they would not give water to Tamil Nadu. It was not just a citizen of Karnataka who said so, but a central minister. Sir, 10 lakhs of acres in Tamil Nadu are in need of water. The water required to irrigate those 10 lakh acres is 15 TMC. Already Karnataka was supposed to have given 18 TMC of water to Tamil Nadu. So what is happening is that instead of economic necessities, political compulsions are deciding the fate of the Kaveri issue. Yesterday, the Honorable Prime Minister was speaking at a rally in Karnataka. He should have advised the people to give water to Tamil Nadu. They are our breather. The Prime Minister's speeches are very popular. He could have advised the Karnataka people in this respect, but he did not do so. So there are political compulsions. Karnataka is due for polls shortly. So both the central government and the state government there say no water to Tamil Nadu. I would like to know whether the central government treats Tamil Nadu as a part of India or not. The sufferers are farmers of the delta region of Tamil Nadu. Whatever farmers produce in Tamil Nadu is for the nation, but you deny them what is due to them. The economic survey speaks volumes about the impact of the weather on agricultural productivity. In such a situation, how can farmers' income double by 2022? It is like devising the people. Stop.